How you doing, guys? Sports Advantage here. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're here today to talk to you about the back squat. So before we even get underneath the bar, there's a couple things that we do prelim to doing the movement. So assuming the athlete is good to go, there are some things that we do to make sure that they're able to squat. So assuming that the athlete has checked out with that, we'll move right into our dynamic warm-up. So that ranges with a full body dynamic warm-up. It's just basically to get the muscles loose and ready to go and warmed up. Joints ready to go. After that, we'll move into mobility, going through a full body mobility, making sure that their joints are loose and things of that nature. And if they require more attention, then we will pull them aside and address that individually as we go through. Anything you want to add with that?
No, we try to get the athletes to understand that on an individual basis, they are the ones that are taking care of their bodies. We're just giving them the assigned warm-up, but they need to do everything properly and correctly so we can allow them to hopefully get the results that they want to during the training session.
Good. So after that, we go through a couple other things. If you want to know what those things are, come train at Sports Advantage and we'll show you what they are. But when we get into the bar, we want to make sure that they're setting up properly. For this instance, for our athletes and for us alone, we're just going to assume that they're going to high bar squat. So what that means is that the bar is going to be set on the upper part of their trap here. So what we do is we're going to have the athlete get underneath the bar and make sure that their hands are in a decent grip. And they're going to make sure that it's sitting right on top of the trap. They're going to brace their core. They're going to take a nice deep breath in before they even unrack the bar. They want to set themselves up in a good position as they unrack the bar. So Lucas is going to take a nice deep breath in, unrack the bar. And he's going to be as efficient as he can with this walkout. You don't want to take too many steps. You want to take too little steps. Take enough steps to get out from the rack and then set your feet in the right position. So before we get going, we want to make sure that we cover a few checkpoints. So Lucas's elbows are tucked underneath of him. This is a very good optimal position for him. His chest is up, his eyes are high. This is going to allow him to not pitch forward as he's going down through the squat. He's also going to take another deep breath before he even goes into the depth of the squat. This is going to increase his intra-abdominal pressure. It's making more rigidity in his spine. It's making him more of a stable lifter to hopefully reduce the risk of injury. With this, as we look down the body, his toes are slightly pointed outward. This can kind of vary from athlete to athlete depending on thigh width. If you have big thighs, sometimes it's hard for them to get into depth. So opening up the toes gives them a little bit more room to wiggle with. Also having immobile hips, myself, my toes are pointed out. This is something that we have to assess with the athlete as we go through. So after Lucas has all these checkpoints set up, the first thing he's going to do is reach back with his butt. You're going to break back with your hips and then follow through with your knees as you come down to depth. He's going to go down until his hip joint is equal to his knee joint. So now what a lot of people think is I'm going to press back up through the floor. You are, but as you press out through the floor, you're going to try to spread the floor away. This is going to ensure that we keep maximal activation of the glutes as we go through. And also what I want Lucas to think of, or the athlete, whoever's squatting, is as they're coming back up to the top of the squat, they need to think about pushing against the bar, because in all actuality, that's what they're doing. They're pushing against the bar. Doing so will allow them to stay upright and have a less tendency of pitching forward. Once they complete their sets and reps, he will walk the bar in, making sure that he's still keeping a nice tight core as he puts the bar all the way into the rack. Later on in our videos, we'll talk about different set schemes, different set reps, intensities and things like that, and how we manipulate those to elicit different results throughout the movement.